Hey everybody. In this video, I wanted to introduce you all to my latest project, which is a research tool or a research platform that I designed. It's titled Aura. And one of the key reasons why I decided to embark on this project and develop this research platform, it's because I have interacted with a lot of interesting research tools. And what I saw was that a lot of research tools have actually very interesting features. However, I found that I got value from a different sets of tools, and each of them provided a different feature that I really liked. So, for example, I might like the uh, the resources that one of the tools gave. On the other hand, I might really like how interactive a different tool was in, you know, going back and forth and doing Q&A with the tool, or there were other instances where I really liked the way the knowledge was represented using the research tool. So what I so what I found was the way I research for a specific topic, I go on the web, I look out for various papers and news articles that have important information embedded within them on that research topic. I go through a gamut of those resources, and then uh, once I have once I have gone through uh, the milieu of research articles, I have one coherent document that encapsulates all the information, all the important ideas that I took from those documents. And then I try and create a map, like a visual map, tying entities and the relationship between those entities that can inform me, okay, these are some important ideas that are embedded in this particular research theme. And on top of that, at times I go back and forth. I try and ask pertinent questions related to that particular theme. And I try and have a conversation with my professors or experts on that particular topic. And through the medium of question answering, I find that there are certain concepts that become much more clearer when I ask those questions. So, given the different approaches that I take to research, I thought, why not encapsulate all of those different approaches into one single platform and give all of those functionality to the end user. So this is where the idea of Aura came in the first place. So one of the components in our platform is a research pipeline where we have a multi-agent orchestration framework where we have uh, multiple agents and subordinate agents coordinating amongst each other, researching a topic, coherently summarizing the research, and finally writing the summary in a wonderful essay. And we have agents working in parallel, always interacting with each other. And through LangGraph, I basically leverage LangGraph to make sure that the orchestration is quite seamless, because LangGraph gives us as developers complete control over the agents and the way we want to orchestrate it. Now, once we have the information pertaining to that research topic that the end user provided, we store that information in a FIES vector database. We embed the information and we store it in the FIES vector database. And once we store the information in the database, then we have a different section where we use the information in that database and allow the user to do a Q&A. And so the user can ask questions, and our RAG system retrieves pertinent information from the database, and then it passes on to an LLM to summarize it and generate an output. Then in a subsequent tab, we have a, a knowledge orchestration framework, a knowledge graph that provides information pertaining to various entities and the relationship amongst them. And finally, we have a brilliant ideating tool that will allow you to find what are the specific areas of research and what are some of the important questions that one can ask pertaining to this research. So just to again run through the information that I presented right now. So we have the orchestrating intelligence framework via LangGraph. LangGraph allows the orchestrator and the subordinate agent to communicate amongst themselves pretty seamlessly. And we have subordinate agents that synthesize that extract information from research articles and research sources and synthesize that information. And the synthesis is done using a summarizer agent. We incorporate parallel processing in this multi-agentic framework. We also save those, save the chats in stateful sessions. So every time a user returns to the platform and they want to, sort of engage with a previously researched topic, they can do that. We load that session into the platform, and then the user can seamlessly continue his or her interaction with the RAG system. We have precision retrieval via session scope RAG. As I mentioned, as soon as the synthesized essay is generated, we are storing that information in a RAG vector database. And two of the features that are the most interesting is the hidden connections and and the entity relationships that we have uh, in the final essay generated, and the representation of that using knowledge graphs. And finally, an ideating tool that provides us various insights into pertinent research questions that we can ask based on the topic that was provided. And having said this, now let's go and let's look at the platform in real time. I will switch to my VS Code. And by the way, I designed or developed this particular application uh, using Claude Code. It is so fascinating to see how much uh, creative I can be when I am developing anything with Claude Code. And there are a lot of things that I did not realize, Claude Code had these functionalities, but slowly and steadily as I interacted with the tool more, I understood better how to use it. So just to give you an insight, uh, I had this, I always had this difficulty of reminding, my Claude Code agent, where did I finish last? And before I learned about slash commands, I would always have a markdown file that the agent would update towards the end, sort of giving it encapsulating information pertaining to our previous session. But right now, I just use a slash command, and I bring the context of our conversation back into the fold. And so I write slash context, and we will see that the context of this particular code repo is being given to the agent. And so we will wait for some time for it to finish. And as you can see, now it is ready to begin the next step. Another thing that I need to mention, I've deployed this particular application locally in Docker. And so uh, one of the other slash commands that I have. So basically, some of these slash commands are basically, reusable processes that we perform every time we are working with our application and we are working with our code. So one of the things that I do repeatedly is I start the uh, I s- I start the Docker engine, and so I have the start Docker slash command, which I will go ahead and I will start. And I think it will begin the services. In the meantime, I just wanted to show you that this particular application, you can find it here in my GitHub. This is the Aura Research Agent. Now let's go back. think it will check the health of the application. All right, I think we are all set. So as you can see now, we have the front-end application which is running on http:// localhost 3000. We click on it, and this is our research platform. Now, another thing that is worth mentioning, guys, is these slash commands are so powerful. And one of the ways you generate those slash commands is you go to Claude, you prompt your the Claude GUI in the right way to give you the markdown file that you can use as a slash command. So I did exactly that to develop and design this particular application and have this, color combination of yellow and black. Because oftentimes one of the sort of more unwanted outcomes of using a coding agent like Claude is that every time uh, you know you develop an application with it, if you're not very meticulous about how you prompt the way you want the design of the application to look, it always gives you this extremely unattractive, blue and black slop, which is, very typical of, AI agent design. And having a slash command really helps because you can you can basically take your idea, encapsulate it in a well-written prompt, and then probe your Claude model to generate a markdown file for you that you can then use as a slash command to then develop your application using the right design functionalities. So without further ado, actually, let's get started. So let's create a free account here. So we will say John Krasinski. Say John K at John K. Okay, John K. John dot K at yahoo.com. We have minimum pass. Uh, we have a at least 8-character password. So we will just go with anything. We create a free account and voila, we are in. And now let us go and let us explore each of the different modalities uh, for our research tool. So as you can see here, this is our landing page. We have research, we have RAG chat, we have knowledge graph, and we have ideation. And we look at each of it. We will look at each of it individually. So let us first begin with a research topic. Let's just say that, I am interested in researching about direct policy optimization. Okay. I write direct policy optimization. I click on start search, and it has begun the research. And now it is fetching academic sources. It is going through a multi-agent processing layer where it will collate and synthesize all the information, and then finally it will produce an essay. So we will let the agents work. In the meantime, while the agents are doing their thing and writing an essay, let me go to my Medium blog and actually show to you guys. Uh, this is the article where I tried to explain everything that I have done as part of this particular project. You can go ahead, you can read it, and you can understand the approach that I have taken to develop this platform. And while we are at it, actually, and while our agents are still doing their thing and it will take some time, I do have a I do have a blog on Substack where I post about I basically post about books, but a lot of the books that I post about are actually books that are written on data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning. But most of the books that I post on my Substack or I recommend are non-technical books and are aimed for a general audience. So if you want some book recommendations for you, and if you're AI curious, even if you're not a software developer or a data scientist or a machine learning engineer, you're just AI curious, you want to know more about the history of the technology, you want to know more about how over the course of the last several years it has evolved from being more of a rules driven symbolic paradigm framework to a more sort of sub-symbolic, statistical driven framework. uh, you can go through my Substack, and you can you know go through my posts, and you know see what you find fascinating. So this is the posts page. You can see, uh, so the recent one that I read is The Myth of Artificial Intelligence by Eric J. Larson. A brilliant book. Just finished it like 2 days ago. Fascinating. Another book that I really found very interesting is The Master Algorithm by Pedro Domingos. Uh, Coming Wave by Mustafa Suleiman is for folks who are AI curious, who want to know the future, who want to understand what the future of this technology can look like, both the positives and the negatives. If you want to understand the history of of how we came to this place and how large language models as an idea came to its logical culmination the way we see it today, there is no better book than Genius Makers by Cad Meds. Weapons of Math Destruction is a brilliant book written by data scientist Cathy O'Neill. A Thousand Brains by Jeff Hawkins a great is a wonderful book to read. It gives you sort of a framework to understand how brains perceive information. Uh, a part of that was actually cited in The Myth of Artificial Intelligence, and Larson had a critique of it. You can find that in the book. Why Machines Learn is a wonderful book written by Anil Ananthaswamy. This book goes into the mathematics of, primitive models, backpropagation, uh, and just a whole range of interesting ideas precipitating in large language models. So, if you want book recommendation anything pertaining to general ideas surrounding AI, machine learning, and data science, you can go to my Substack. Now, let's go back and see what my agents are up to. I think they have done their job. Fantastic. They have done their job. So one of the other interesting things that I kind of have here is this feature where I can use the ElevenLabs API to generate an audio. Um, so this is one of the things that I really wanted to integrate it in this platform, because I don't know if people read physical books anymore, or people read like research articles anymore. A lot of people love listening to stuff these days. And I think the ElevenLabs API is a magic uh, in such scenarios. And I was actually watching a podcast about a day or two ago. It was Reid Hoffman's Masters of Scale podcast, where uh, he hosted. I'm forgetting the name,
Hash
but
research essay, direct
okay,
policy optimization. Asterisk asterisk generated by Eura realized. 9. Hash hash. Introduction. In the grand tapestry of human endeavor, where the threads of
right,
innovation
as
and
you can see now.
existential inquiry are woven in intricate patterns, the concept of direct policy optimization emerges as a beacon of both promise and complexity. It is a testament to our ceaseless quest to refine the mechanisms by which societies govern themselves, nuanced art of governance. In an era where the velocity of change challenges the very foundations of our social contracts, direct policy optimization stands as a fulcrum upon which the levers of progress and ethical stewardship are balanced.
All right, so as you can see, uh, this sort of covers the research part. Now let's go to the RAG part. We have direct policy optimization. We choose the topic and then we ask, let's just say we start with the basic question. Explain what is direct policy optimization. Send it. And one of the interesting ways in which I kind of prompted my language model to generate a response to the questions that we ask over here is we have a direct answer. Direct policy optimization is a method used in reinforcement learning where the policy, which dictates the actions an agent takes, is directly optimized to maximize cumulative rewards. The approach focuses on improving the policy itself rather than relying on value functions or models of the environment. And we have key insights, we have supporting evidence, and we have context and conclusion. Trust. Okay, let's ask another question. Can you explain the beauty of direct policy optimization? So we have the context, we have the supporting evidence, we have the direct answer. And then we go to knowledge graph. We download the topic. And this is one of the interesting facets over here because it really talks about the research on DPO, and it really represents the entities and information in this very interesting knowledge graph format. Then we have the ideation tool. It finds the available knowledge gaps here, optimization in climate policy, cross-disciplinary integration in machine learning. So how can patient models be integrated? So these, how can machine learning techniques be integrated with policy optimization to enhance predictive accuracy in urban transportation? So these are the various questions that are identified and that we can ask to this research tool as follow-ups. Let's actually take one of them. Again. So as you can see, a direct policy optimization focus on improving decision-making process by directly optimizing policies based on observed data, and combined with machine learning, which excels at extracting pattern from vast quantities of data. These systems can dynamically adjust to changing conditions and improve the overall efficiency of urban transport networks. Okay. Okay, so this is interesting. And all right, so also another very interesting thing about uh, this particular tool is you can also use images and do research on that. So let us go back actually, and let's actually take a mixture of experts. Let's see this. Right. Let's go to again. Let's start. And let's see how it performs here. It would be interesting to see. Doing its thing. Right. Final synthesis, and there you go. All right. Papers 3 by 3 analyze 1630 words. Generate audio. Let's see.
Hash research essay. Transformer models with token routing mechanisms. Asterisk asterisk generated by Aura Research Assistant asterisk 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 date. Asterisk asterisk February 1st, 2026 6 hours. 45 minutes and 0 seconds asterisk asterisk papers analyzed. 9. Hash. Introduction. In the grand tapestry of human endeavor, there exists a perennial quest to replicate the nuanced intricacies of the human mind. A quest that is as much about understanding ourselves as it is about engineering machines that can think, reason, and create. The advent of transformer models, particularly those imbued with token routing mechanisms, represents a significant vicissitude in this intellect.
You get the idea, but I think that, you know, we, I think there needs to be some degree of change that I need to make with respect to how these essays are being curated. I think it has to be a little more academic, I think, right now, because it's trained exclusively on the kind of the way I write. Therefore, it's sort of, taking a more prosaic approach. But having said that, now you can see, now we have two sessions over here. We have transformers with token routing mechanism, and we have the previous one, which was about the direct policy optimization. So what is token routing? Oh, by the way, if you want to get a different answer in a different language. You can choose any one of these languages, English, France, Chinese, or Russian. Uh, let's click on send, and let's see what our research assistant gives us. Token routing in the context of transformer models refers to a mechanism that dynamically determines the pathway of tokens through the model's architecture, aiming to optimize computational resources and improve model performance by directing tokens to the most relevant parts of the network. Fantastic. Okay, there you have it. Supporting evidence. The context indicates token routing mechanisms are employed to improve efficiency and accuracy of transformer models. Okay, we have token routing mechanisms to present an innovative approach to model design in NLP. Da, 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 da. Okay, now let's go to knowledge graphs. Same thing. Session. Ooh, there you go. This is one of the more interesting features of this particular research tool. We have these various different nodes and entities connected to one another in this very intricate graph, this entity relationship diagram. And then we will go for ideation and we will choose a different session and try questions, generate questions. There you go. Integration of cognitive theories, understudied non-English languages, token routing edge devices, token routing in low resource settings. All right. Very, very interesting. Okay. So this was everything that I had to offer to you. Let me know in the comments what do you think about this. What more can I add there? I know there needs to be a bit of, some changes with respect to how the final essay is coming through. It's a little more prosaic, can be a little faulty when it comes to specific details. But before I sort of deploy this as an application, I will be tinkering around, playing with it a lot more, fine tuning it on the edge cases. But this was the main idea that I wanted to flesh out. And let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know your feedback. Always interested in knowing what you guys think. Thank you.